In a tough city like Detroit, Michigan, not only do you need to have great insurance, but you need to have a tough agent. And I know just the person, Alvin, the insurance guy.
Hello, I'm Alvin Lynn and President and CEO of Option Insurance Group, your insurance guy. And today I have a special guest and friend, the President of C.A.R.N. And I'm going to allow him to explain exactly what that is. Hello, Keith.
Hey, how are you, man? So C.A.R.N, which is the acronyms for Cancer Awareness and Resource Network. So Cancer Awareness and Resource Network is a 501c3 foundation founded back in November 2014. So back in 2014, my wife was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, stage 3. What was so interesting about that is when she first went to the doctor and we were kind of just trying to figure out what was going on with her, the first diagnosis she got was she was just suffering from a severe case of gas, only to find out later that
back up a little bit. Help me She was diagnosed as what? Say that one more time.
She was originally diagnosed with a severe case of gas.
Wow.
And the doctor gave her some liquid medication, told her to take 2 spoons a day and you'll be fine.
Was that Mylanta or something?
Whatever it was not, it didn't deal with her real issue, which she actually already was in her 3rd stage of ovarian cancer.
Wow. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that just blew me away. So please continue.
So once she took that medication for a few days, a week or so, and it didn't ease her pain, so we sought out another opinion.
Okay.
That's when we found out, yes, she was already in the 3rd stage of ovarian cancer.
Wow. So that must have been really stressful. To think it was one thing and turn around that she's in stage 3. So what happened after that?
So, and yes, it was stressful.
Wow.
So we just knew that we had to go to work. We on that particular time when we actually found out, we went to another doctor and they ran some tests and before we got home, they told us, they called and said, you need to come back to the office. This was a Friday, come back on Monday.
Right.
We went back to the office just laughing and joking and having a good time because we were coming up on our 30th wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And so we were talking about actually going to Paris. We had never been to Paris and we wanted to do that. We were in the waiting room just talking about that and just kind of having fun about it. We went into the doctor's office. And when the doctor came in with no bedside manner at all, simply said, looked at her chart and said, Annette White, you have ovarian cancer, stage 3. And so you've got to imagine what that room was like.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, she looked at me and simply said, does that mean I'm going to die? So because I had never experienced that before, you can only imagine that put us both in a real uncomfortable space. The doctor just simply said, well, I'm going to give you guys a moment, and walked out. And so we just knew in that moment that we had to go to work. We didn't know what going to work meant, but we had to go to work.
Right.
And so a lot of times when I'm speaking and I tell people that you can be the most educated person because she was.
Yeah.
You can have all kinds of degrees, which she had. You can be making all kinds of money, which she was.
Right.
But when you are diagnosed with cancer, everything stops.
Oh, yeah.
All the education that you have goes out the window. Everything starts from ground zero because you have absolutely no idea where to go from there.
Right. You kind of caught, it's like being caught in a fog.
Absolutely.
You can't see your hands before your face.
Absolutely.
Yeah, time seems to stop.
Yeah.
Wow, man. So I really need you to talk a little bit more. What happened did the doctor offer any type of resource? What happened with that doctor? I mean, clearly you didn't knock him out. So what happened? What happened there?
Well, so from there, we went home and we cried and
Sure.
and just kind of got to ourselves and just trying to figure out where do we go from here. But what we knew is that because she worked in the medical industry, is that we knew that we needed to get a second opinion.
Sure.
And so we ended up getting a second and a third opinion. But just trying to figure it out, because what we decided is, if this doctor's saying that there is, she's in ovarian cancer stage 3, we wanted to hear 2 more opinions to see if any of them agreed.
Sure.
And so there were 2 opinions that agreed, but then we had to figure out what was the next course of action.
Right.
Do we go to chemo and then radiation and or surgery, or do we go to surgery, chemo, radiation? So those are things that we had to really kind of figure out on our own. And I don't care where you've been, when you find yourself in that space, you have to figure it out for yourself initially. And so and it kind of goes to fast forward, and when we go to Cancer Awareness and Resource Network, because starting the organization, we knew that we needed to help some other people. And the type of young lady that my girl, and I always call her my girl because she was my girl for 34 years.
Yeah,
and so what the type of girl that she was she, regardless of what was going on with her, she still always wanted to help other people. And so we were in and out of medical centers and doctors' offices and waiting rooms and things like that. And I got a real education on what was going on with cancer. I just became a sponge, and I just kind of just read everything I could get my hands on and talked to people in the waiting room. And C.A.R.N. started from a situation where Annette was when she first came out of surgery, she was less than 2 weeks out, and she met a young lady who she had been diagnosed before Thanksgiving, and her husband left her before Christmas.
What does that mean, left her? Meaning
he decided he didn't want to deal with his wife, who had been diagnosed with cancer, so he left the relationship.
Oh.
Not only did he leave the relationship, the marriage, but he also left behind a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
Oh, so he left it. Oh, wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the truth of the matter is, whether we like it or not, the statistics shows us, and I'm not very proud of that as a man, but the statistics shows us that when women are diagnosed with cancer, more men leave the relationship. When men are diagnosed, women stay.
Right.
And so, but in this particular situation, Annette befriended this young lady, and while she was less than 2 weeks out of surgery, she told me we have to help her.
Yeah.
So on that particular year, Christmas, we provided that family with an entire Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's really how Cancer Awareness and Resource Network started.
That's how it started.
Because when we helped this young lady, we just kept on helping people.
Yeah. So now, where are you now with C.A.R.N. and share some things that C.A.R.N. is actually doing for the community? I'm interested. Of course, I know a little bit about C.A.R.N., but I'd like for you to share it with folks that may not know who you are.
Sure. So let me start it by saying it this way. I just told you about the beginning of how we started. 4.5 years later, Annette lost the battle. And in that, excuse me, and in that, there was a period in that I just didn't want to continue.
Sure, yeah, that's understandable, man.
And I said, I just don't want to do this. But it's so, God is so awesome, because the same way you and I are just sitting here talking right now, I heard God speak. God said to me, you can stop if you want to, but everything that you guys have done would have been about you. And this is not about you. And so in that moment, I knew that this is really what I was born to do.
Yeah.
to help people. And so we have been really just on a crusade, if you will, to just help people. So C.A.R.N has been, we do what we raise money to give it away. We've been able to pay house notes and car notes and child care and life insurance and health insurance, auto insurance. It's a situation that happened. There was a young lady that was in stage 4, and she was about to lose her life insurance. And so C.A.R.N ended up paying months of her life insurance. Well, 3 weeks ago, she passed. She made a transition.
Wow.
While, you never want to see someone make a transition, but we were actually proud that we were able to pay up her life insurance. So when she made her transition, her family didn't have to use what so many of us do today, the GoFundMe. The family didn't have to do that. They were actually able to give this young lady a proper service. And so when the family calls and says thank you, that's all it's like we start out to help people and to bless people. They end up blessing us. And so we do so many different things. We have events that we do to raise money. And at every event, when we raise money, we write checks to people on the spot.
Wow. Now, there's a couple of things that I want you to talk about your event. So hold on. Okay. That's one. I want you to keep this in your head because I got more than one. And I really want to know how you connect with the people that you are helping. I'm curious about that. How do they come to you and contact you? How do you get to them? So those are two things I would like for you to answer and be really clear, because I want people to know.
Sure. So what happens is, so often when we're giving events, just say for instance that's one way. People come out to the events that maybe you share with someone. Come on out to our 5K run. Come out to our golf outing. Come out to our fashion show. And you may have never heard of C.A.R.N, Cancer Awareness, but you come out to the event and then you see what we do. One of the questions I ask everybody at every event is I ask 3 major questions. Who in the audience is currently fighting cancer? Raise your hand. Who in your audience is a cancer survivor? Raise your hand. And ask them, keep your hands up. Who in the audience knows someone personally have either fought cancer or is fighting cancer? Then I tell people simply just look around the room, because everybody's hand is up.
Everybody.
And so when I ask those questions, then I share with people that if you're currently fighting cancer, I need you to talk to me, because if you're having some struggles, some financial issues, talk to me. Because you get on our list. When you get on our list, so say for instance, this past June we had a 5K run. We gave out, we wrote some checks to some people, but there were some people that were still on our list. That even though we didn't write checks to you on that day, your name goes to the next event. And if we don't write checks to you on that event, your name goes to the next event.
So you keep track of those.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then there are other times that people call us and they're just in a situation. And so we have a form that people fill out and they tell us what the situation is, and based on what's going on with them, allows us to go in and we pay those bills.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so. And I'm sure we're going to get to where people can contact you.
Sure.
So I want you to say it now, and we're going to continue to talk. So this is going to be a long conversation because I have more questions. So you're not off the hook, brother. We're just going to keep it going. But I want you to tell people how they can reach you. How they can actually reach you right now. So take the time.
So if you have a question, problem, issues, or just concerns, and you want to reach Cancer Awareness and Resource Network, you can reach us at 1-800, or should I say our 1-800 number, which is 866-771-22 866-771-76. That's 866-771-CARN.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, you mentioned helping people with insurance. I have a curiosity. You know what I do, and we're not going to talk about supplemental insurance to any big degree, but I am going to mention it here momentarily. I'm curious.
Yeah.
With the folks that come to you, and you're an elder,
Yeah.
right? So how do you talk with folks about faith and the need to have insurance that will help them? How does that work?
Okay. First, yes, I am an elder of a church, and so faith is very, very important to me. And so when people come to me, typically when they come, as a matter of fact, you and I were at a function a few days ago, and a young brother came to me because he saw Cancer Awareness and Resource Network on my shirt, and he was asking questions about it, only to find out that he had just recently been diagnosed. Mm-hmm. And he had not even told his family.
Yeah, I remember hearing him say that, and that got my attention.
Sure. And so one of the things that after we pray, we just have a conversation, because I need to find out where you are right now. Mm-hmm. And I can see the emotion in his face that he was struggling.
Yeah.
And so with a further conversation, I found that he hadn't told his family because he just wasn't sure how to do that. Wow, he had just recently lost his wife.
I heard him mention that.
And so he didn't, in his mind, he was trying to understand the drama or the potential drama that might be happening if he shared that with his family. Mm-hmm. And so I shared with him what I thought he should do about that. But then I talk about insurance. Mm-hmm. Where are you there in that area? Because one of the things that happen so often with people in general, African Americans specifically, is we are very reactionary. Yeah. We wait till a situation happens, and then we try to put a Band-Aid on that situation. Well, so often, sometimes a Band-Aid can work, but many times you need a tourniquet. Mm-hmm. You need something greater than that. And so in most cases that I run into, people don't have insurance.
They don't have insurance.
And so while I do understand, and you can speak to it better than me, that there are maybe one or two companies that will insure people that have already been diagnosed, but it's to a lesser degree. Mm-hmm. And so, kind of getting to it, talking about insurance before you need it is a greater situation. So when I'm out speaking to groups of people, that's part of the conversation I always try to have with people. Is insurance is really your friend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually want to speak to about supplemental insurance. I want to talk about it and help people understand that there's a difference between life insurance that is developed for when you pass away, that has its own name and its own purpose.
Sure.
Supplemental insurance is while you're living. So let me be clear and help people understand exactly what it's about. Supplemental insurance is designed to help while you are alive, and it's customized for critical illness. In particular, since we're talking about cancer,
right?
There are plans that actually help you while you're in the battle to pay for those non-medical costs. If it's okay, I want to use your situation. You went to with the net to get a separate opinion, a different opinion, and I don't know if you've had to travel to another state for
Absolutely.
that opinion.
We did that as well.
That costs money that a health care plan typically will not pay for. Now, I know that because typically health plans are either an HMO, which is a network, or PPO, which is a network, but you have also out-of-network benefits. Mm-hmm. So understanding the type of plan a person has is still limitations. So no matter what type of plan you may have, without a supplemental plan, it's not going to cover those non-medical costs. A good example, and I am going to get carried away a little bit because it's important. A good example would be if you're out of state and someone has to come and be by your side. They can't stay in that hospital room with you. You're going to need lodging. A supplemental plan can supplement that, meaning they pay you to help foot that hotel bill. So those are the kinds of things that supplemental insurance can do for you. It steps in and covers costs that you would otherwise have to bear. So I really get tied up because I thought about that young man yesterday, and I heard him, and my heart went out to him. And I did not ask him if he had insurance, but just by what I heard him saying, that was an issue for him.
And I go further because even when I think about cancer, and I've been in so many hospitals and so many waiting rooms, and I talk to people about it. I do ask the question because I need to know in the onset where you are.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about Cancer Awareness and Resource Network, there are two components. There's the awareness side, where we educate people on cancer and all the different things that's going on there. But there's also the resource side. And so, for instance, option insurance, there are so many things that you do, services that you provide that C.A.R.N. don't do and we don't want to do because we don't want to reinvent the wheel. But option insurance becomes the resource that we can talk to people if they have insurance. You can talk to them about looking at their policy and seeing where they are. And I think I've heard you say sometimes if you've got some good insurance, I want you to keep what you have. But if you don't have good insurance, when do you need to know? And so I thought that was just great when you shared that with someone. And so you need to know right now.
That's exactly
right. And so what also happens that when people get insurance policies, say for instance, I may have gotten an insurance policy 5 years ago. But my needs and my situations has changed. And so because they've changed, I may need an update. And so that's why when I talk to people and then I find out, what's going on and where are you, that lets me know the proper resources to send them.
That's right. Well, I appreciate you saying that, of course, because it is important and people should know and review on an annual basis the different types of policies that they have. And when we talk about cancer insurance, you triggered that in my brain. I'm so glad that we're having this conversation, that you can actually be in a battle with cancer, and there are some life insurance policies that you can actually get. And what we offer as a company, we offer those types of policies. So it's never oh my gosh, I'm all alone and there's no help for me.
Absolutely.
There are resources available, and I'm talking to everybody. There are resources available to you that are available. All you have to know is who to talk to. So Keith, I'm gonna end this by saying, man, I am so grateful for you coming out, hanging out with me, right? And I'm sure we'll do some more events together. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
Absolutely.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.